If you buy a Subaru, you are a fanatic.
Absolutely. Big wing, gold rims, performance.
Or of course, you've got a canoe, mountain bike, surfboard strapped somewhere on your Subaru and you're out in the bush or at the beach.
Absolutely. It's all about adventure or performance. So really polar opposites. But Subaru's new brand pillar or, selling point that they're pushing is safety.
That's probably quite key because maybe now they can appeal to the man in the middle.
And they're hoping that the Subaru XV is the car that's going to be able to do that.
Is that why it looks like a Volvo? Dominated by pretty SUVs. Finally one for the boys.
Absolutely. It does have definitely a masculine appeal, and goodness, but it's better than the old one.
Yeah,
that thing was ugly as sin. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the orange. I didn't mind it, but this certainly does look fantastic.
Yeah, they've smoothed it out. I can see the Volvo similarities you're talking about, but definitely it has more of a crossover appeal.
And I love the scuff plates. It's still got that 220mm ground clearance. So
roof rails.
For the adventurer out there,
yeah,
this is kind of ticking all those boxes.
Absolutely. And I mean the ride, you talk about ride height, it's such a nice car to drive. It really is lovely on the road.
They've done a lot of work. I mean, this is their new global platform.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be seeing this used on most Subarus going forward.
Yeah.
But they've lowered the centre of gravity. They've improved the rollover, the torsional rigidity has been
rear
improved.
Suspension is different as well. I mean, it's 80% an all-new car.
Yeah.
Also cool is that they've added X mode, which is the first time they've done that in their compact cars.
Yeah, and their smaller cars. All it's really doing is taking the symmetric all-wheel drive system and optimizing it to give you the best torque vectoring, which is now standard on this car.
Yeah.
So you really are getting the best when you are going off-road. But I find that a bit confusing because this car really is going to live in the city. Do you need it? Probably not.
I agree. X mode you probably don't need around the city, but torque vectoring, great also for safety. Engine's different?
Well, look, I mean, I know you weren't too blown away by it, but I mean, the 2 litre now is direct injection, so it's 5 kilowatts more, 115 kilowatts, 196 newton meters. I find it works really well. I know most journos hate CVT, but I find the CVT on the Subaru is the best of the bunch. It really works well.
Look, I'm not a big fan, no, of the engine and gearbox in this car, but I think the ride quality makes up for that, and more than anything, the interior and the way you feel inside this car makes up for it.
Wow. Bland would define Subaru in the old days. Probably some of the most comfortable seats that I've sat in a long time.
Absolutely.
They've done a lot of work in terms of that. But they've gone up market. The Japs have finally caught a wake up. We're in the top specs. So obviously we've got this 8-inch touchscreen, which is amazing. It's got Apple CarPlay, it's got Android Auto as well.
Yeah, you've got the screen up the top as well, which is constantly changing and talking about eyesight and showing you what eyesight is doing. Now, for people who don't know what eyesight is basically Subaru's new safety system. It's the adaptive cruise control, it's the rear cross traffic, it's lane departure.
Critical for me. Most manufacturers have this.
Yeah.
This is the one that works the best.
They said it's been in development for 20 years, and I should hope after 20 years it's really good. And it is. I love the way it is not jerky. A lot of like adaptive cruise is all of a sudden it breaks, and you can't control it, and you don't feel like you're in control of the car. It's a very smooth system. I
think that's why they've got a stereo camera that can see up to 110 meters.
Yeah.
So it's really anticipating way further, so the car doesn't need to make last-minute decisions.
Yeah.
What blew me away is all this amazing tech doesn't work in South Africa because road markings, what are those? Most of our roads don't even have that. But last night, driving this car in the dark, it was warning me that I was departing lanes where there weren't even markings. So it really works well, identifying pedestrians, cyclists, and obviously other cars. But for you as a mom, what is really cool, what they've added in as well, when you put the car into reverse, the car will actually brake for you if you haven't seen an object behind you. So you think, little Rosie on a scooter.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing the level of safety they've added, and they've won tons of awards for it.
They
Rightly
have.
so.
I mean, some people say it's better than Volvo's system, to draw that parallel again. So yeah, really excellent and nicely spec'd on top of that as well. So for your 430,000 Rand in the top spec we're driving, you do get a lot.
It's probably clever that they've simplified the offering to only 2 models. So 385 is a start point, but I think it's worth forking out a little bit more if you look at the competitors and what you are getting for this car. It's worth that money spent. It's, for me, a fantastic all-round package. Great drive, great car.
The new XV is certainly not about performance. And while it definitely has elements of adventure and might appeal looks-wise to an adventurer, it's not all about adventure either. So maybe they've done a really good job in terms of finding that man in the middle with the appeal to safety.
I really have enjoyed the XV, but there is one major letdown disappointment with this car, and that's the boot. I mean, South Africans are SUV mad. They're buying it because there's a perception of space, even though usually they're wrong. But if you go compare this to Mockers and Qashqais, they don't have big boots, but they don't have boots this ridiculous. I know Subaru will say, yes, well, we've put in a Mori biscuit, we've put in a full-size spare, but it's not a full-size spare. It's like a 185 as opposed to a 225, but there is no space in the back.
Okay, and maybe that's where they've missed a trick, because if they're appealing to safety, then they're looking for family. That said, it's a really good all-round package at the price, considering you usually pay a premium for a Subaru. I think between 380 and 430, you're getting a lot of car.
And I don't think there are many competitors that can say they have the level of safety. They're winning massive awards globally. Great to have eyesight in South Africa, and huge improvement from an interior perspective. Subaru's for me was quite boring and bland. This is a major step up.
It's a really nice car to be in.